Good morning. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. And I hope you are doing well. Let me know or let us know if you can hear us very well. And let's start this information about Fiscal Sponsorship 101. My name is Juan Salas. I'm the Director of Operations and Accounting with TAPAZ. And yeah, let's start. So this is, the initial welcome from the TAPAZ team. You're going to see the executive, personnel, and then also the operations personnel. So Susan and Roy, they are our directors, and then Gina Schumacher and Stephanie Gallego support Vital Scale Foundation. Myself, Katie, Kelsey, Blash Calanchi, Angelica Gerardo, and Cassandra Sterling, and Katie Clark. We are the TAPAZ team that support this organization. Thank you. Let's jump to the next one. So what is fiscal sponsorship? Fiscal sponsorship is a practice of nonprofit organizations offering their legal and tax-exempt 501c3 status to other groups that are engaged in activities related to the sponsoring organization mission. So what that means is that TAPAZ is a 501c3 organization that support other groups or organizations that they are in the same mission that we are, which is health and education. And if you don't have the status or you have the status, either way, we can work together. All right? So that's the mission of TAPAZ. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about the program. TAPAZ was beginning to provide the services in 2011. And TAPAZ supports organization activities, projects, and strategies that strengthen the community-based health services and the better health outcomes for Arizona's most underserved citizens. TAPAZ works with sponsor projects by providing back office services like accounting, human resources, grant application assistance, and much more, allowing organizations to focus on their mission and vision. The idea is that TAPAZ as an organization help you guys to support with some activities that they are very oriented to, accounting, administration, insurance, that part that at some point organizations, they don't have the capacity, but we offer this service, and then you can focus in what exactly is your mission and vision for your program. So the idea is to work together with you guys and then assist with that, and then you can do and accomplish your mission as an organization. Before I continue, if you guys have any questions, so just put it in the chat, and we'll try to have some time to answer your questions before we finish the conversation. Thank you. All right. So.
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm jumping in here really quickly. It's so I work, as Juan mentioned, as an assistant director of partner engagement. So a lot of that is conducting these outreach calls, doing the intake process for prospective partners, kind of shepherding everyone through the application process, doing onboarding and orientation. So right now, this data is actually from last fiscal year. When we closed out, we had 46 fiscally sponsored projects on the platform. The number at this point in time in the fiscal year, and we run July 1 to June 30, we're up to 61 projects who we support. But if we're looking at this data, the majority of our projects fall under comprehensive fiscal sponsorship, which Juan will explain the different levels on the next slide. Grant-specific fiscal sponsorship makes up, last year was 12 projects, and then we have 2 under fiscal agency. The breakdown is very similar, even though we have now 61 instead of 46, it tends to be the same. The majority of our projects are under the comprehensive level of support. TAPAZ serves statewide, so you can see this map here of where our projects are located. The majority are in Maricopa County, but we do have a couple projects based in Flagstaff, one in Superior, and a few in Tucson as well, and we're always looking to expand across the state. We are an affiliate organization of Vitalist Health Foundation. So if you're familiar with Vitalist at all, this Elements of a Healthy Community Wheel is something they refer to a lot in addressing the social determinants of health. So we also utilize that as a framework when we're looking at the areas that our projects work in. We have projects working in each element of a healthy community, but you can kind of see the numbers here. We had last year 50% of the projects said that they're working in social or cultural cohesion, 46% reported working in social justice or educational opportunity. But really, as long as your work somewhat touches health in any of these areas, that's kind of what we're using as mission alignment.
Right. We are going to talk about the levels of support that TAPAZ offer to these organizations. We offer 3 different levels of support, which is a comprehensive, we call the full fiscal sponsorship, the grant-specific fiscal sponsorship, and fiscal agency. In the first one, the comprehensive TAPAZ, this is the most complete type of support that we offer. So in this one, you are going to receive 100% of the services that we provide. So you are going to have access to those in this level. And what that means that we are going to, TAPAZ is going to support you in all the legal and fiduciary responsibility for all your activities that you are doing as an organization, or your employees, or your volunteers, all these people that is engaged with your organization. But we are going to work with you guys with our EIN, tax ID. So that allows you guys that if you don't have the status right now, or you are looking for that, then you can work with us. In the meantime, you get that. So you don't need to have a EIN in this level. If you want it, then that's okay, but we can offer the service regardless. The grant-specific fiscal sponsorship, this level of support is only specific for 501c3 organizations. That means that we work with these organizations to seek and apply for federal grants, state grants, or municipal grants. Can be grants or can be contractors. So in this support, we work with you guys to submit all the financial and accounting reporters to the grantors. And we track all the activities that you need to have in the grant. In this level of support, like I mentioned, only for 501c3 organizations at this moment. And the last one is the fiscal agency type of support. We also offer this only to 501c3 organizations. And then pretty much we act as a bookkeeper. And this can be an option for organizations that at the moment they don't have an accountant in-house, or they don't have or they're transitioning to another organization, and you don't have an accountant that is working with you guys. Then we can do the bookkeeper. We can provide payments for your vendors at this moment, at this level. And but as an organization, you have your own activities. We only serve as a bookkeeper. And then we only provide that for 501c3 organizations. There is no option for profit organizations at this moment. This is a fiscal sponsorship services that we provide, and we have 4 different buckets. So like I mentioned before, in the full fiscal sponsorship, you have access to all of these services that you are seeing in these different buckets. So in the accounting, you have the full general ledger accounting. You have a package of financial statements every month. You can work with us, or we can review your budget if you need it. And then we process payments. We also do billings. And the way that we process payments is by check or ACH or EFTs. It depends on the organization and depends on the vendor. We do these options as well. And then we have TAPAZ as an organization has 2 audits every year. One audit is that auditing all the internal controls, and then the other one is specifically for federal grants. TAPAZ apply for federal grants. We need to have every year an audit, and so TAPAZ has all these results every year for our groups. This is the accounting portion. In the human resources, we provide the services for payroll. If you have employees or your organization has employees and you need to provide the service to them, then you can have access to that. We provide time and effort tracking. This is for grants or contracts that you might have that needs to show the time and the effort tracking. We do offer health insurance benefits for all the levels. I mean, we have 4 different medical benefits package. One can be, the regular insurance, and then the other is including HSA. Those are paid by the program and not from TAPAZ, but we offer the service. At the same time, if you have employees, they have the option to be enrolled in the 403 retirement plan. So they can start saving, in their own individual accounts. We, in the W-2, every year we send the W-2 reports directly to the employee, so you don't need to worry about, the tax information that they need to submit every year. For contractors, the 1099s, also we provide a service to send it every year to all your contractors, the report, the 1099 that they need every year to submit their taxes. So that's accounting and human resources. Any questions through here? Okay. All right, I'm gonna jump to operations and capacity building. In this service bucket, we offer the grant support. So like I mentioned before, we can apply on behalf and benefit of your organization to federal grants, state grants, or municipal. And one of the reasons that we support the organizations in grants, and specifically for federal grants, is that for the federal grants, you need 4 specific things before you submit for a grant. Is that you might have at least $1 million budget. You need to have a board of directors. You need to have an audit report, and then you need to have what is that? I mentioned the board of directors, right? And then you have the last one is the experience. You need to have at least, depends on the grant, 3 years of experience. So if you don't meet that criteria, you are not going to be able to apply for grants. And those are the most important criteria that they review. But might be also that organizations that they need only focus in certain areas. For example, tribes. They said some grants they require that If you are a tribe, then you can apply. If not, you are not going to be applied for the opportunity. Some of other grantors, they say we don't need or they don't allow fiscal sponsors, and that's okay. But we can help you guys to apply under your behalf. So one of the things that we realized that when these organizations apply for grants is that sometimes they don't have the cash flow to support the cost reimbursement grant. TAPAZ provides the working capital without fee, without interest, with any fee in terms of administrative fees. So if you are granted by a grantor, and then we sign the contract agreement, so you have the capacity to, the first day, you can start funding your programs. That basically can front the money with the working capital program. So you don't need to worry about extra funds or how you're going to fund the program. Okay, tracking and reporting by grant and program. We track everything that you are working in the accounting system, so we can provide a financial report. On the other hand, as an organization, you need to work in your performance report because you are the applicant that is providing the service to the community. We provide the general liability insurance for all the groups that they are in the full fiscal sponsorship program. And that covers $1 million as a regular coverage. And then we go to aggregates to $2 million and an umbrella of another $2 million. So your organization is going to be covered with this insurance. Then we have a platform that we use for all the groups that they can start doing donation campaigns and then or events. And that's through Fundraiser is a platform. In this, there's this platform, it doesn't cost nothing for you guys, only the services that the platform offer. So you have the capacity to do that with us. So you can create campaigns, you can, do as long as you wanted to do every year, then you are going to have that access. Stewardship, the communication support, because TAPAZ is an affiliate of Fiscal Foundation, you might have access to certain services of communication, web page review, or maybe if you have an event, we can send you the communication director and cover the event for social media, things like that. And then also we offer technical assistance workshops, and that's through the program that we have with different organizations. We can have memberships for you guys as well. So those are the services that we provide. So I'm going to jump to the administrative cost. For the first level of support and the grant specific, we charge 7% of all the general funds received and 10% of the federal funds. And then for the comprehensive, we have a minimum cost, depends on the organization when it's joined to our platform. The organization needs to at least brings $5,000 to their account, and with that, it's going to cover the minimum fee. If your organization is not covering that minimum $5,000, then you need to pay the minimum fee annual. And that can be also, if you raise less than $5,000, you can pay the difference of that. So we can calculate that and send it to you guys. Then for fiscal agency administrative cost, we don't charge, just for the comprehensive fiscal sponsorship applies the minimum fee. For grant specific, it doesn't apply. So fiscal agency is 6% of general funds received and 9% of federal funds. For the fundraising platform is 1% or 5%, depends on the level of if you have the green campaign type, you are going to have 1%, and if you have the campaign option to create events and all that, that's 5%. And then as all these organizations, they charge the bank fees. Those are on top of the fees that I'll talk about later. If you have employees and you want to run the payroll through us, then the organization needs to pay 1% of the gross amount that you pay per employee. The health insurance needs to be covered by the project. And as I mentioned, we have 4 different plans, 2 PPO and 2 SHA. And also dental and vision plans. We offer the 403 retirement plan. It's a volunteer and needs to be paid by the employee. And with that package, you have a life insurance coverage up to 10%. Sorry, $10,000. So those are the costs that we have for TAPAZ. Any questions?
Awesome. Okay, so as Juan covered kind of what our offerings are in the program, we do have some criteria that we've created that identifies what types of projects are likely going to be the best fit for our program. So these criteria include the organization or entity must be conducting charitable work in Arizona. The organization has to either be based in Arizona or at least 50% of the work is serving Arizonans. While we can support efforts that are outside of Arizona, the majority of the work needs to be happening in the state. The work needs to align with the elements of healthy community wheel that we covered or Vital's priority areas, which include access to care, civic health, and housing. Have at least 3 members on the board of directors or advisory board that's not inclusive of the executive director, just so we can kind of see that there is this governance body who's helping guide the direction of the organization. Have a minimum existing annual revenue of $25,000 or provide a 3-year projected budget that demonstrates reaching the $25,000 revenue amount. Have at least 1 dedicated staff member. This person can be paid or unpaid working on the project. Really, with this, we're just looking to see that there is someone who is directing the efforts, has that commitment, and is driving the project forward. Be familiar with the different types of fiscal sponsorship that we provide, which we just reviewed in the slides here. And then we cannot support through our fiscal sponsorship program activities that involve lobbying. So whether it's grassroots or direct lobbying, this is something that we've been directed by our board of directors that we don't have the infrastructure to support. Now we can support organizations who are doing lobbying, but the lobbying has to be done under their own 501c3. So if we're supporting the organization in a narrow scope of work, that's fine. It just can't involve lobbying activities. If the criteria that I just covered is not met, organizations can refer to this resource page, and I'll make sure the link goes out in the follow-up email that has a compilation of local nonprofit resources that we tend to refer folks to if they're just maybe getting started and they're not quite ready to apply for our program, but could use additional resources to reach that next step. if the organization or the entity does meet the criteria that we just reviewed, the next steps would be to go to our website, and we'll make sure that I send out the link. We have an eligibility quiz, kind of walks you through exactly what I just talked through with the criteria. Complete that, submit it, and then you'll get a follow-up email that has a link to our full application, as well as a nonprofit lifecycle self-assessment. This is just a way to kind of guide you in assessing where you're at in a nonprofit life cycles framework. And then once that is submitted, we will do a review of the application. We'll conduct a consultation. So we'll meet, talk more about the application. Juan and I do an initial review. So if we have follow-up questions, we'll get those answered. We'll answer any questions that you have. Then our full team does a review, and ultimately our fiscal sponsorship committee needs to review and approve any applications before we can go through the onboarding and orientation process. I would say in total, that process tends to take a few months. Our committee meets on a quarterly basis. So the next committee date is coming up in May. The following one is in August. The next one is in November, and it happens quarterly from there. And we will pause to see if there are any questions. I did get some questions answered in the chat, but if anyone has any other questions, we're happy to answer those.